Winter ruled the northern forest like a cruel god. Snow buried the land in white silence, swallowing paths, memories, and hopes alike. At the edge of the black pine forest stood a broken stone structure, once a watchtower, now nothing more than an abandoned drome where wind howled through cracked walls like a mourning spirit. That was where Leo lived. An omega with faded pheromones and no pack. Long ago, his pack had cast him out, calling him useless, winter burden, a weakling who would only drain resources. In ancient times, an omega without a mate or protector was as good as dead. Yet Leo survived, on herbs, roots, and stubborn will. His body was thin, his hands scarred from cold and labor, but his eyes still held warmth the forest had not stolen. That night, the storm was worse than usual. Leo had just finished reinforcing the broken door with rope when something wrong reached his senses. Not scent, not sound, instinct. He froze. Outside, beneath the moon-drowned pines, something dark lay half buried in snow. At first, Leo thought it was a fallen log. Then it moved. A low, broken whine cut through the wind. "A wolf," Leo whispered. He grabbed a torch and stepped out, boots sinking deep into snow. The closer he came, the more his heart pounded. This was no ordinary forest wolf. It was massive, its silver-black fur matted with ice and blood. Its breath came shallow, each rise of its chest weaker than the last. This isn't normal," Leo murmured. The wolf was too big. Too powerful. Even wounded, its presence pressed against him like an invisible force. Every instinct screamed predator. And yet, it was dying. "If you're from a pack," Leo hesitated, biting his lip. Packs didn't welcome lone omegas. They punished them for trespassing. But leaving it here meant death. The wolf's golden eye cracked open, unfocused yet sharp enough to steal Leo's breath. For a heartbeat, something ancient and commanding flickered in that gaze, something that made Leo's knees almost buckle. Then the eye closed again. "Don't look at me like that," Leo muttered shakily. "I'm not brave. I'm just stupid." With great effort, he dragged the wolf toward the drome, snow soaking his clothes, muscles screaming in protest. By the time he pulled the heavy body inside, Leo was trembling harder than the wounded beast. He cleaned the blood with melted snow, wrapped the wolf in old furs, and fed it herbs meant for fever and shock. All the while, his heart thudded with unease. "This wolf," Leo whispered to himself. "It feels like a storm." He did not notice how the air in the room subtly shifted. How ancient pack markings briefly glowed beneath the wolf's fur. How the fire flared higher on its own. Outside, far beyond the forest, an entire alpha pack stirred. Their bond burned. Their leader was missing. And in the abandoned drome, as Leo finally collapsed from exhaustion beside the fire, the injured wolf's body began to change, slowly, silently, hidden by shadow. But Leo did not see it. He only knew one thing as sleep claimed him. If this wolf woke up, his quiet, forgotten life would never return to what it was. Leo woke up unable to breathe. Not because of the cold. Not because of fear. But because something heavy was wrapped around his waist. He slowly looked down. A huge arm, warm, solid, very much alive, was locked tightly around him like an iron trap. Leo froze. His brain screamed run, but his body refused to move. Very, very carefully, he turned his head. And screamed. A. A naked man was sleeping beside him. Long silver-black hair spilled across the furs, broad shoulders bare, chest rising steadily with deep breaths. His face, sharp and handsome in a way that didn't feel human at all, was peaceful, almost innocent. Too peaceful. WWWHO or you? Leo shouted, scrambling backward, only to be yanked right back. The arm tightened. The man groaned softly. "Warm," he muttered. Leo stared in horror. Why is he talking? Why is he human? Where is the wolf? The man's golden eyes blinked open. They focused on Leo. For a long moment, he just stared. Then his face brightened. "Oh," he said happily. "You're here, Leo." Before Leo could react, the man hugged him tighter, pressing his face into Leo's shoulder like an oversized dog. "Don't leave," the man mumbled. "I like you." Leo's soul left his body. "Let go of me, you naked forest demon." The man blinked again, confused. Naked. He looked down at himself. Oh. There was a pause. Then, "Should I be worried?" he asked sincerely. Leo grabbed a blanket and threw it over the man's head. "Yes, you should be worried. You were a wolf last night. The man peeked out from the blanket, eyes wide. A wolf? Like this? He tilted his head. Leo opened his mouth to yell again, then stopped. Wait. The man's scent. Strong. Ancient. Overwhelming. Not a normal werewolf. Oh no, Leo whispered. You're not just a beast. The man frowned, rubbing his head. I don't know. Leo stared. You don't know. I don't remember anything, the man said seriously. Not my name. Not where I came from. Not why my body hurts. He looked at Leo with pure trust. But I know one thing. Leo swallowed. What? You saved me. So you must be my master. What? The man nodded proudly. I will protect you. Follow you. Stay with you. His tail, very much a wolf tail, suddenly appeared and wagged hard enough to knock over a basket. Leo screamed again. Put that away. The man gasped and tried to hide it behind his blanket, tripping and falling flat on his face. Sorry. Leo stared at the scene. A terrifyingly powerful alpha, clearly an alpha, even Leo could feel it, currently tangled in blankets, tail wagging, eyes full of devotion. This was bad. This was very bad. I found a dying wolf, Leo muttered. And now I have a naked amnesiac alpha puppy. The man crawled closer, eyes sparkling. Can I have a name? He asked. Leo sighed, defeated. William. The man smiled like he'd been given the world. I'm William, he repeated happily. And you're Leo. My Leo. Leo covered his face. Somewhere far away, the alpha pack felt their bond snap into place. Living with a wolf had been hard. Living with a giant amnesiac alpha who acted like a puppy was a nightmare. Leo discovered this on the very first morning. William, Leo said, tying his boots. William appeared instantly. Yes. Leo jumped. Why are you standing so close? I am guarding you. From what? William thought deeply. Cold. They stared at each other. Leo sighed. Fine. Just, don't follow me everywhere. William nodded obediently. Then followed him everywhere. Leo stepped outside to collect firewood. William followed. Leo bent to pick herbs. William crouched beside him, sniffing everything. Leo turned around suddenly. Thud. Their foreheads collided. Ow. Are you hurt? William panicked, grabbing Leo's face with both hands. His tail popped out and wagged violently. I'm fine, put the tail away. William gasped and shoved it behind him again like a guilty child. Later that day, Leo tried to cook. William stared. Not normal staring. Unblinking. Intense. Alpha-level staring. Why are you watching me like that? Leo asked. I am learning, William replied seriously. Learning what? How my master survives. Leo dropped the spoon. I am not your master. William looked confused. Then why do you give me food? Because you'll die otherwise. William smiled warmly. You are very kind, master. Stop calling me that. By afternoon, Leo realized another problem. William had no concept of clothes. Put this on, Leo said, throwing him an old tunic. William sniffed it. Is it edible? No. He somehow wore it backwards, inside out, and tore it within minutes. I think clothes are my enemy, William said sadly. They are not. That night, Leo tried to sleep. He woke up 10 minutes later because something heavy was crushing him. William was lying on top of him like a giant wolf-shaped blanket. You said it's cold, William murmured. I am warming you. I said I'm fine. William frowned, rolled slightly, and dragged Leo back into his arms. Don't fall, he said seriously. Leo's face burned. This alpha is going to kill me, Leo muttered. The next day, disaster struck. Leo went out to gather water. When he returned, the drone was shaking. What is happening? Inside, William was growling at the door. A full wolf, massive and terrifying. William, Leo shouted. Stop. The wolf froze. Then turned. Then immediately ran to Leo and pressed his huge head against Leo's chest. Safe. Comforted. The door creaked open. 2 warriors stood outside, frozen in shock. That scent, one whispered. It's the alpha. William snarled. Leo stepped forward without thinking. Go away, Leo said firmly. You're scaring him. The warriors stared. The alpha, hid behind an omega. William peeked from behind Leo's shoulder and growled again. Mine, he rumbled. Leo turned red. Stop claiming things. The warriors fled. Silence returned. Leo turned to William slowly. Did you just scare off warriors? William nodded proudly. I protected you. Leo sighed deeply. Somewhere in his chest, something warm stirred. Fine, Leo muttered. But next time, no turning into a wolf indoors. William's eyes lit up. Does that mean I did good? Yes. William beamed and hugged him hard enough to lift him off the ground. I like living with you, William said happily. Leo, trapped in Alpha arms again, realized one terrifying truth. If William ever remembered who he really was, Leo might never escape this forest. Leo noticed it at dusk, the air thick, heavy, charged. The fire crackled too loudly. The wind carried a sharp, dominant scent that made Leo's knees weak. Alpha pheromones. William. Leo called softly. William was sitting near the wall, back hunched, hands clenched so tightly his knuckles bled. Don't come closer, William growled. Leo froze. This wasn't the playful puppy. This wasn't the gentle wolf who followed him everywhere. This was an alpha in rut. I can help, Leo whispered, though his body already reacted against his will. His omega instinct screamed to run, and to stay. William shook his head violently. I don't want to hurt you. You won't, Leo said, stepping closer despite himself. You never have. William looked at him then. Eyes burning gold, voice shaking. Leo, I don't understand why, but when you're near, it hurts less. That was enough. Leo crossed the final distance. That night, the storm outside raged like the sky itself was breaking. Inside the abandoned drome, they crossed every boundary they never meant to cross. Heat, need, instinct, and something far deeper than rut alone. William held Leo like he was the only thing anchoring him to the world. Stay, William whispered against his skin. Don't leave me. I won't, Leo promised. And for the first time in his life, Leo believed he was chosen. Morning came quietly. Too quietly. Leo woke first, sore, warm, and happy. He smiled, turning, and froze. William was sitting upright, already dressed in fragments of torn fabric, his posture straight, commanding, regal. Different. Painfully. Different. William. Leo said softly. William turned. His gaze was cold, not confused, not gentle, sharp, evaluating. Who are you? William asked. Leo's heart skipped. It's me. Leo. William's brow furrowed. Memories slammed back into place like a flood. The Alpha King of the Northern Pack. The war councils. The throne carved of ancient bone. And the night. His expression darkened. I see, William said slowly. Leo sat up, clutching the furs. Your memory, it came back. Yes. Relief rushed through Leo, until William stood. You should not have done that, William said coldly. Leo blinked. Done what? William stepped back, away from him. You took advantage of my weakness, William said. I was not myself. Leo felt like the ground vanished beneath him. No, William, you asked me to stay. I am a king, William interrupted sharply. And you are an abandoned Omega. Each word struck like a blade. I would never choose this, William said, eyes hard. Never choose you. Leo's chest burned. I didn't know you were a king, Leo whispered. I didn't know anything. Enough. William turned away. Do not mistake pity for affection, he said. Leave. Before my pack arrives. Leo didn't cry. Not yet. He stood slowly, legs shaking, gathered his things with numb hands. At the door, he stopped. I never regretted last night, Leo said quietly. But I regret believing I mattered to you. William said nothing. The door closed. The forest swallowed Leo whole. Only when Leo's scent finally disappeared did William's hand tremble. His chest hurt, violently. But pride was louder. And somewhere deep inside his bond, something cracked. 5 years. That was how long it had been since William last saw Leo. 5 winters had come and gone since that morning. The morning he pushed Leo away with words sharper than any blade. Year 1023 of the Northern calendar. That was the year Leo disappeared. No body was found. No scent trail remained. No rumor ever reached the packs. It was as if the forest itself had swallowed him. And William never spoke of it. The Northern Pack flourished. Under King William's rule, borders were secured, enemies crushed, treaties signed. The elders praised his strength. The warriors worshipped him. Songs were sung of the Alpha King who never faltered. But every winter night, William woke choking. Sometimes it was Leo's voice he heard. I never regretted last night. I regret believing I mattered to you. William would sit upright on his throne bed, clawed hand pressed to his chest, breath uneven. The bond never healed. It never broke either. It stayed, faint, aching, like a scar that refused to fade. No one knew. Not the elders. Not the Beta Council. Not even his closest guards. They never knew their king once knelt in an abandoned drome, trembling, afraid of losing warmth. They never knew an Omega fed him herbs, yelled at him, laughed at him, loved him, without knowing he was a king. William never allowed anyone near him again. No mate. No chosen Omega. No bond ceremonies. When elders pressured him, he silenced them with a look. I will not take a mate, he said once, voice cold as ice. Because every time he closed his eyes, he saw Leo standing at the door, back straight despite shaking hands, pride holding together a shattered heart. Every winter, William returned to the Blackpine Forest alone. He told his guards it was tradition. A king honoring the old lands. In truth, he searched for footprints that would never appear. For a scent long erased by snow and time. He rebuilt the abandoned drome. Stone by stone. No one lived there. But William kept the firewood stacked. The blankets clean. The door repaired. As if one day, an Omega with faded pheromones might return and scold him for doing it wrong. I'm sorry, William whispered into the empty room every year. The forest never answered. Guilt became William's shadow. He ruled perfectly. He smiled when required. He lived. But something inside him stayed frozen in year 1023. The year he chose his crown over his heart. The year he lost Leo forever. Or so he believed. Far from the northern kingdom. Beyond frozen rivers, broken cliffs, and lands untouched by pack law. There stood a small, forgotten drome, half buried in wild vines and snow. Smoke rose from its chimney. Inside lived an Omega and his two pups. No banners. No pack marks. No protection but his own hands. The Omega's name was Leo. After that winter, after the words that shattered his heart, Leo had not returned to the forest. He ran. Not in fear. In survival. He crossed borders without rest, hid his scent with ash and river mud, slept in caves, stole roots from abandoned lands. He did not look back. Because if he did, he knew he would break. Weeks later, when sickness came and his body changed, Leo understood the truth. Of course, he whispered bitterly. Even this stayed with me. He was pregnant. With William's pups. For one night, Leo considered ending it. Then his stomach fluttered. Life. Small. Fragile. Innocent. No, Leo said firmly. You didn't choose this. I did. And so he disappeared from the world. The birth nearly killed him. No healer. No pack midwife. No alpha bond to stabilize him. Only pain, blood, and his own determination. Leo bit into cloth to keep from screaming. His hands shook as he pulled his first pup into the world, small, warm, crying. Then the second. Twins. One with soft silver black hair. One with warm golden eyes. You really are his, Leo whispered weakly, tears slipping down his face. But they were his too. From that moment on, Leo became something more than an abandoned Omega. He became a father. Years passed quietly. Leo learned to hunt small game. To carve toys from wood. To laugh again, softly, carefully. The pups grew strong. Too strong. Their ears appeared early. Their eyes glowed in the dark. Their tiny growls shook the walls when they dreamed. Inside voices, Leo scolded gently, pressing fingers to his lips. The pups grinned. Sorry, Papa. Papa. That was who Leo was now. Not an Omega. Not a rejected bond. Not a memory. At night, when the pups slept tangled together, Leo sometimes touched the faint mark at his neck, the bond that never fully faded. I won't go back, he whispered to the dark. I won't let him hurt you. Even if part of his heart still ached. Still remembered warmth, laughter, a wolf who once looked at him like he was everything. Far away, in the northern kingdom, King William suddenly woke one night, breath ragged, heart racing. His bond pulled. For the first time in 5 years. It answered. Life with two half-alpha pups was not peaceful. One morning, Leo woke to the sound of crash. He rushed outside. Aaron stood in the yard, perfectly calm. The wooden fence was gone. Papa, Aaron said politely. Kian sneezed. Kian wagged his tail proudly. The sneeze had shattered the fence. Leo stared at the destruction. We are never going near other packs. Another day, Leo tried teaching them to hunt quietly. Step softly, Leo whispered. No noise. Aaron nodded and moved like a shadow. Kian immediately jumped on a squirrel and yelled. I caught it. The squirrel escaped. Leo face-palmed. That was the opposite of quiet. Kian smiled. But Papa saw. I did, Leo sighed. Bath time was worse. Kian loved water. Aaron hated it. Kian splashed happily while Aaron climbed onto Leo's head like a very judgmental cat. Papa, Aaron said seriously, gripping Leo's hair. Make him stop. Kian, stop splashing your brother. Kian splashed harder. Leo was soaked within seconds. This is my punishment, Leo muttered. At night, the pups insisted on sleeping close. Too close. Aaron clung to Leo's side like a shield. Kian sprawled across Leo's chest like a weighted blanket. Papa, Kian mumbled sleepily. Tell story. Leo smiled softly. Once upon a time, there was a wolf who forgot who he was. The pups listened, eyes heavy. Leo didn't finish the story. He never did. Sometimes, Leo caught glimpses that made his chest tighten. Aaron standing protectively in front of him when danger felt near. Kian growling at the forest shadows, eyes glowing gold. William's strength lived in them. But his kindness, that was Leo's. You're good boys, Leo whispered, kissing their foreheads. And you are mine. Far away, under the same moon. King William clutched his chest again. The bond pulsed. Twice. The first time it happened, Leo thought he was imagining things. A large shadow creature, half bear, half beast, emerged near the river, snarling low. Leo immediately pulled his pups behind him, heart pounding. Aaron, Kian, stay close, he whispered. The beast roared. Before Leo could react, stop. The word rang through the air like thunder. The beast froze. Absolutely froze. Leo blinked. Aaron stood in front of him, small hand raised, silver hair fluttering in the wind. His eyes glowed faintly gold. Papa, Aaron said calmly, it wasn't listening. The beast whimpered, turned, and fled. Silence followed. Leo stared at his son. Kian, Leo said slowly, did you see that? Kian bounced excitedly. Brother scared big thing away. Do it again. No, Leo said immediately. We do not do that again. Aaron tilted his head. But it worked. That's the problem, Leo muttered. After that day, strange things kept happening. When Kian said, come here, to birds, they came. When Aaron told the fire to calm down, it did. And once, when Leo tripped on ice, both pups growled at the ground. The ice cracked. Leo stared at the broken earth. You are not allowed to talk to rocks either. Sorry, Papa, they chorused. Far away, in the northern kingdom, William dropped his goblet. It shattered on the stone floor. The elders froze. My king, one asked carefully. William's breathing was uneven. His bond burned, bright, overwhelming, split into 3 distinct pulses. Not 1, 3. That's impossible, William whispered. Children. His children. Alive. His hands trembled. Prepare my horse, William ordered sharply. No guards. No banners. The elders protested. My king, the borders. I said now. For the first time in 5 years, William did not sound like a ruler. He sounded like a man afraid of being too late. That same night, Leo felt it. The bond stirred. Strong. Familiar. Terrifying. He sat up abruptly, heart racing. No, he whispered. Not now. Aaron woke immediately. Papa is scared. Kian rubbed his eyes. Bad dream. Leo pulled them both into his arms. Listen to me, Leo said softly but firmly. If anyone ever comes looking for us. A knock echoed outside. 3 slow knocks. Controlled. Leo's blood ran cold. The pups' ears appeared instantly. Papa, Aaron said quietly. Someone very strong is outside. Kian growled low. The bond burned. Leo closed his eyes. William. The knocking came again. Slow. Steady. Leo didn't move. 5 years vanished in a single heartbeat, replaced by the memory of cold eyes and colder words. Behind him, 2 small bodies pressed close. Papa, Kian whispered, teeth bared, tail bristling. He smells like thunder. Aaron didn't growl. He watched the door, carefully, judging. Leo swallowed. Stay here, he murmured. He stepped forward, hand shaking as he touched the wooden latch. The door opened. Winter air rushed in, and with it, William. Older, broader, scarred. His silver-black hair was tied back, his eyes sharp, and red-rimmed, like a man who hadn't slept in years. For a moment, neither spoke. Then William's gaze dropped. 2 pups. Small. Powerful. Undeniable. The bond slammed into him so hard his knees almost buckled. Leo, William breathed. Leo's voice came out calm. Too calm. You shouldn't be here. William took one step forward. Aaron stepped in front of Leo. Stop, Aaron said clearly. The air bent. William froze mid-step. His eyes widened. Alpha command, he whispered. From a child. Kian bared his teeth beside his brother. You make Papa sad, Kian growled. Go away. William's chest burned. I didn't come to hurt anyone, he said hoarsely. I came because I felt them. He lowered himself slowly to one knee. Not as a king, as a man. I didn't know, William said, voice breaking. If I had known. Leo laughed softly, a sound with no joy in it. You knew enough to leave me in winter, Leo said. You knew enough to call me nothing. William bowed his head. I was wrong. The words looked too small between them. Silence stretched. Finally, Aaron spoke. Papa cries at night, he said calmly. Because of you. Kian nodded. He still tells stories. But never the end. William clenched his fists. Tears fell onto the frozen ground. I deserve nothing, he whispered. But please, let me see them. Leo looked at his sons. They looked back at him. Trusting. Always trusting. 5 minutes, Leo said at last. William looked up, hope breaking through grief. Thank you. He reached out. Then stopped. May I? He asked Aaron. Aaron studied him. Then nodded once. William touched his son's hair. Silver black. Just like his. A sob tore from his chest. I'm sorry, he whispered. I was too late. Leo turned away, heart shaking. Some bonds never die. They just wait. The sun barely peeked over the horizon when Leo finally allowed William inside the small drome. The warmth hit him first, then the smell. Wood smoke, herbs, and the faintest trace of a bond that had waited 5 long years. Aaron and Kian sat side by side on a pile of furs, alert but calm. Leo cleared his throat. Rules. First thing, there are rules. William, still kneeling, looked up. Rules. Leo nodded, arms crossed, tail flicking behind him. You, do not touch anything without asking. You, do not scare the pups. You, do not expect forgiveness to come fast. And finally, you, do not leave until we say so. William swallowed. I understand. Kian wagged his tail and grinned mischievously. Papa says you're not allowed to break rules either. Aaron nodded solemnly. We will watch you. William blinked. Then laughed, soft, shaky, like a man remembering warmth for the first time in years. I think I can survive that. Leo rolled his eyes but smiled despite himself. Try, or I'll make you sleep outside in the snow. William jumped up immediately. Yes, understood. The day passed slowly, almost like a dream. Kian tried to teach William how to gather firewood, but ended up climbing onto his shoulders. Aaron attempted to teach William to hunt small animals quietly, but William's size and clumsiness sent birds scattering and startled a small fox into the woods. Leo laughed. For the first time in 5 years, he laughed freely, not out of joy alone, but relief. By evening, William was sitting cross-legged beside the fire. The pups curled around him. Leo sat across, eyes soft but wary. William spoke quietly. I can't ever repay you. But I want to stay. With all of you. Always. Leo's heart thumped. Then, prove it. Live here. Survive our chaos. Protect our family. And maybe someday, he paused, sighing, maybe someday, I can forgive you fully. William smiled, golden eyes glinting with hope and something fierce. I will do anything for that. The pups yawned and snuggled into their father's chest. William's hands rested gently on their heads, and for a moment, the forest seemed quiet, holding its breath. Leo watched them, then looked at William. You're lucky, Leo said softly. They're strong. And stubborn. Just like you. William's lips curved into a grin. Then I belong here, don't I? Leo smirked. Yes. But remember, I'm still the boss. William bowed dramatically. Yes, Master Leo. Kian barked. Good boy. Aaron rolled his eyes. Focus, brother. We have rules. The fire crackled, shadows danced on the walls, and for the first time in years, the drome felt alive. Some bonds are broken, some hearts are wounded, but family always finds a way.